Well, hello there, guitar friends. Episode 16. My, how far we've come.
16, really?
16.
Wow.
Look at that. Blowing through them.
Dang.
First one we're recording in the new year.
It's true. Happy New Year.
Not the first pot of the new year, but we're a little slow sometimes. I'm a little slow sometimes.
I know.
But that's okay. Look at this. It's Olive Drab City up in here. It is. Everyone's getting new guitars.
Like mine. Twinsies.
Everybody is getting new guitars.
Yeah.
So you guys got a bunch of new Epiphones.
Mm-hmm. Well, two, really.
Well, who got it first?
I did.
You bought that.
Yes.
The Olive Drab Firebird with the red Firebird.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I really do like how it looks. This color is like insane.
That is.
I just love it.
To be fair, I think I had my eye on this around the same time.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't fully copying
That one
it.
or just like an Explorer?
The Green Explorer.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
What started off, we have a friend, Jared, who got a Olive Drab 355.
Wait, can I just point out that you're dressed in the motif of the guitar?
Not even on purpose. It's the shirt.
John,
it's real close.
there you go. John also has
I've got shoes.
of the
Olive
which is like
shoes.
olive
Olive Drab shoes.
drab shoes.
Something has come over us.
Wait, I'm going to take a picture of John so we can.
Throw it in there.
The
Yeah,
funny
so-
thing is that I don't normally wear slippers over here, but
Hey.
today was cold out.
So Jared got the olive green 355, and we both saw it and we're like, that's the best color.
Yes.
That's the best color.
Yeah.
So then I went to Reverb and typed in olive drab. Everything's like super expensive. Like
Right.
the Chris Cornell guitar came up a bunch.
Yeah.
It's like $9,000.
It kind of sounds like a more depressing color than it is.
Drab. It's such a drab
Totally.
day.
Yeah.
It is drab though. I mean, in terms of green, it's not like a bright green.
In
It's a
some, so
centered
I've
green.
taken pictures of this guitar and sent it to several people, and it looks black
Yes.
in some lighting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Which is
Yeah.
cool. Anyway, so I saw this one, and this was the guitar I was talking about at Black Friday when you were giving out 80% deals, and they were like, "We'll give you 8% off." I was like, 80? Is that a typo? And they're like, no. And I was like, how about 10? So I had to negotiate up to 10% off.
Hey, that's
So yeah, but it was
that's in the hunt for tone.
Yeah.
8% should not be overlooked.
these are Z-Zounds.
Zounds. I think it's
Z-Zound?
just-
C-Zounds.
Is that how we say it?
I think so.
It's
That's
not
the website.
Zounds.
Yeah.
They got a lot of Z's in the front.
There's so many.
Oh.
I thought it was
you're saying like it's either
Z-Sounds.
Zounds or Z-Zounds.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
That's where it's from, and that's where yours is from.
Yeah.
They're
No,
like-
they
and
were,
how much did you get it for?
$5.82 and 60 cents. Both of us paid the same amount.
Same
582.
Yeah.
And how many cents?
I don't know.
I don't know.
So
but close.
And John, you were actually following it. They made you that deal. It
Right.
expired on Reverb.
Yep.
They went back. You said, "Hey, I'm still interested. Can I have that deal?" And they said yes.
Yep.
So it would appear that if you buy an Epiphone on Z-Zounds or Zounds on the Reverb store, you can get it for
$582.60
Plus tax.
plus tax.
Free shipping, though.
Free shipping.
And it's like 1 day shipping.
Speaking of shipping,
So this is the second one of these that I've had.
Right. The first one
The
was
first one arrived with in 2 pieces.
Ooh.
It was really a bummer.
Headstock.
You know when you're like waiting for a
Yes.
guitar?
Yes.
And I pulled it out. It was obviously in a brand new box, in the Epiphone box. And I pulled it out and I was like, something doesn't feel right.
you didn't see it right away.
And then, because the front of it actually was like still attached.
Yes.
And I turned it around. I was like,
But the head, but in the
completely
back, it was
broken.
completely broken.
Photo
You can see the truss
inserted
rod.
here.
So in 5 minutes, I got the thing off my front porch, opened it, took a picture, sent it to them, and was like,
that
what would you
sucks.
like me to do?
And they were like, for $$68.60. What do you expect?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. totally.
You wanted a working guitar?
But
No, they made good on
No,
it.
they
And
were
you got
so-
another one? And
yeah, the response was like, do you want us to send you another one? And I said, sure.
I do want that.
And so I
good.
returned the first one, and
And now
yeah,
here
like
you
a
go.
day later, right?
yeah, it was in one day.
And now I'm sitting here in the middle of, well, not even the middle. We're 8 days. Gosh, Lord help me.
Wow.
We're 8 days into No Spend January. And I'm the only one without an Olive Drab Epiphone. And I feel very left out. And I'm already following.
It's great on this side, man.
I'm already.
It feels great over here.
I'm already following an Olive Drab Epiphone V.
Yeah, the Flying V would really
It would really tie the room together.
Complete everything. Although I wouldn't be opposed to the SG.
Yep.
You looked at both.
The
Yeah.
SG.
It would really tie the room together.
Does the SG have a vibrola on it or something?
Old man said, take any rug in the house. It, yes, it has the vibrola. And listen, I'm not going to buy an expensive guitar with a vibrola because they don't work.
Yeah.
So Epiphone with a vibrola.
Yeah, the vibrolas are...
Yeah. They're problematic.
They shouldn't be putting those on guitars.
If there was a way to like disconnect it so that it was just like like you put a block of wood in there or something or
like
inside.
there but didn't function.
Yes, and just looked like that. That could
Does
be
it
cool.
have these? Could you put like a normal stop and tailpiece on it?
No,
or-
it's got like the bridge, and then over the bridge, there's no stop. It goes into the vibrola mechanism,
I see.
which is then connected to the piece.
The bar, yeah.
Could it be easily changed to like a Bixby?
Well, then you'd lose the
I have a
whole.
drill press.
It has like a solid back, like it's a big plate on the back, which is kind of part of the look. It looks awesome.
Oh, like down here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It has the whole
that big
thing.
plate and the logo. It's like
A friend of mine
treble
has the
clef or something.
Angus Young SG
Yeah.
model. Like the SG, what is it? The Angus Young signature model.
yeah.
And it has that.
They look great.
It's pretty cool,
They
but-
came out late 60, maybe 68, 69 was maybe the first year they made
They're
those.
not good tremolo systems.
No, they're
though.
terrible. And the sideways one is like even worse
Yeah, the
because it's weird because you like squeeze it.
Yeah, that's
You know,
right.
there, it's okay. Vietnam was ending and people had ideas.
They can't be blamed.
This is not a new thing. Everyone who's bought an Epiphone or a Gibson in the last probably 10 years will be like, yeah, that's how they've been. But mine is way older than that. My Les Paul.
Yeah.
They have like clips on these things now that this thing, when you take the strings off, it doesn't just fall onto
really?
your guitar.
What?
I haven't tried it.
They
Yeah,
have
when you
that?
take the strings off, there's like clips on the inside of the stop piece. This thing doesn't just fall off anymore. I don't know how long they've been doing that, but I was like, oh, that's a nice touch.
I own 40. How many guitars do we have in here? We say we have 40 guitars.
40-something guitars.
Every one of they all fall off.
They
I
all
know.
fall. I just
I mean,
changed
they-
strings and they fell off.
Yeah, they don't. They don't
All right
really
on
all.
the ground.
My Les Paul has dents on the guitar
Yes.
because of
From it
that
clang.
thing. Yes.
You could change 3 strings at a time and be good, but you don't do it.
But you
Wow.
don't
You
do it.
never do it.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I know.
I had no idea. So I'll tell you why I like these guitars first and foremost. I usually people are gonna get mad. I don't always think Epiphone looks right on the headstock. And for years, Epiphone made really stupid looking headstocks. The headstocks are better now. They changed it a while back. Which
For
I
a
like.
long time, it was 2020 when they started doing
That's
that because
right.
I remember we went to NAMM in
Yeah.
2020
And talks
before
about it, yeah.
before the world imploded.
Yes.
And the first thing I said when I
That's what
walked
caused
into
it, I
the
heard.
giant when we walked into the giant Gibson booth and they had all the Epiphones in there, I was like, they fixed the headstock.
They did, and it
remember
looks
you saying
way better because
Yeah.
some
Way
of the
better.
sometimes you have a Les Paul and have that and it just looked like that looks terrible.
It looked bad.
And I actually, what I really think looks
These
cool.
never suffered from that, either
No.
of these models.
These
which
never
is great.
suffer from that, and they don't suffer from it now.
Yeah.
And you know what I always thought looked so cool? If you go on Reverb or you go on eBay and you look up Epiphone Japan and you get the Gibson open book headstock, but it says Epiphone, it's one of the coolest looks.
Wow.
It looks awesome.
Because even now the Epiphone open book one is better, but it's still more exaggerated than the Gibson
Yes,
one.
I kind of just wish they would just let it be Gibson, the
don't
open
understand
book
why.
headstock, or do this: put the wider '70s Gibson headstock, just a slight variation. See that Greco back there? That's the '70s headstock right there. And then you see
Right.
above. So just like the wider, slightly different Norlin era, do that on the Epiphones, and then just write Epiphone on it. I don't think it really competes with Gibson sales, but it may because both of these guitars.
Well, look,
They're great.
Let's be
Are we all
honest.
like?
these are great.
We've
They're
been
gr-
super impressed.
They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are great. And I said earlier, I have been out on Epiphone for a very long time, and I feel like they've figured it out.
They
recently.
turned it around.
They turned it around. Like, this is a great guitar.
Yeah.
I've always felt like the necks feel way too big and not easy playing guitars and stuff. And I felt like, man, this has been great.
I know.
right out of the
Sometimes they have
box.
like a neck carve in it. They're like, it's our fat '50s neck.
It's so big.
And then I'm like, you guys are the people who made the first ones. You know that this isn't really how it feels. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? How come I pick up? How come the
Right.
Gibson version feels different, but that's supposed to be the same neck? But sometimes it does feel there's like stuff that just feels exaggerated or close, but not really the real. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess that's just like a QC thing, not a quad cortex thing, but a quality control thing. And
Well, I think it could be that. I don't know. I think people just They're like, oh, we like, people like it when the necks are big and stuff. There's a difference between having like a big neck and a neck that's just the wrong shape, right? Like, remember your Nocaster that had
the cankle
up
here
like, on the back? It didn't go down at all when it got to the headstock.
It came just straight out.
Just straight line.
No,
that thing was a true baseball bat, but it was
the
awesome.
Biggest neck,
But it was great. Yeah. But I felt like, a lot of the Epiphones that I've played just weren't.
But they appear to be back.
But this,
I mean, or maybe we're just late to the party on realizing this. But these colors are cool.
That's probably true.
Here's a real question: how do they sound? We should play that.
This one's cool.
I mean, let's hear that, John.
Yeah. What profile is this?
So this is a BC15 LP. So it's a liquid profile of a BC15, and I've got the AC 15 tone model on it. So accurate. I don't know. Who cares? Sounds good. How's the neck?
It's great. It's a little thin.
No, I mean neck pickup.
Oh, the neck pickup. If I'm honest, it's a bit woofy.
Right.
But I think that's not really why I bought this guitar, for the neck pickup.
Sounds pretty rockin'. Do you know what kind of pickup those are?
I think they're just like the Epiphone.
I think they call them like Pro Buckers. They got like Epiphone Pro Buckers. Like that's what they call their pickups now.
I could be right.
They would put those in like a Les Paul, like an Epiphone Les Paul.
I think, from what I've seen looking at listings, and I remember that, and then I just saw it on that V. I would imagine that has the same. Oh. It seems like probably this line is getting all.
But it's very simple. There's no coil splits or anything like that. It's just.
Are there a lot of guitars that have 3 knobs like that? I feel like that's not a thing.
The V's do, and those do.
Okay.
Where it's like volume,
shared
tone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be okay with just one knob, to be honest.
What's the cross section of
just on or off?
Yeah, what's the cross section exactly? If you're playing an Explorer, are you really dialing the tone back to just 7? It feels like a turn it all on 10 type of guitar.
Right.
You know?
For everyone except for Joe Bonamassa, maybe. But.
Yeah.
Does he play those?
Yeah,
I mean,
Joe
he's played everything.
Really? Okay.
He has. I mean, but he's not known for that or anything.
Okay.
No.
Not like the Edge.
He does have a signature Firebird, I noticed.
Does he?
Gibson makes one. Yeah.
Gibson makes one?
It's a single pickup.
I feel like he has a signature everything.
He also has a Les Paul with a Firebird headstock that they've made him, which is quite the looker.
That's wild.
It's wild.
Wow.
And
let's hear that guitar.
It's the type of thing you
Alternate
own.
Universe.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this one we were finding was quite a bit bright.
Yeah, so this is quite a bit brighter. What do you call that chord right there? What was that?
Which one?
You did the open E, you went down. I think you did open E, open B, and then on the G string you hit the C sharp.
Good lands. What?
You did the open E, the low open E. Sorry. The high E was open. The high B was open.
You started on it and then went down.
Yeah, and then you descended down. Da, 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 da. Now it was you did open. You did.
Like,
yes, there you go. Yes. Interesting. Wait, do that again. I'm going to commit this to memory. It's like a C sharp major with an open.
Well, yeah, it kind of depends on what's on the root. Like if you're coming down.
Yeah. Oh, so more of a G sharp kind of.
Yeah, C sharp minor with a like a 9 in there, I guess.
Okay. Yes. Oh, I didn't see that. Yes.
You play that one song, was it?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
Love
Turned
that.
into a little
a
chord
little
lesson
thing
there.
there.
I don't know, but anyway.
I always ask Nate.
I like
he's
that.
like, what is that?
I
Little
like that.
chords, yeah.
What is
Where'd you
that
pick that up
chord?
from?
Yeah. Well, that's just from learning that song, I guess. That
What song
shape.
is that?
Da-na-da-na-da-da, da-na-na-na, da-na-na. It's like a worship song. You Won't Relent. You don't know the song?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, it's a good
maybe
one.
I'll go check that out.
It's got that chord in it, and it sounds nice.
Interesting.
Anyway, this guitar is rad.
A
Dude.
C sharp minor 9?
I would think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because this one's got the 7 in it.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
So there's your 1 and then 2 or 9. Or like
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
It's got that nice
yeah.
dissonance. That's
It
what I
is.
like.
It is. It's a nice dissonance. That's what kind of caught my ear about it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Anyway,
So,
these guitars are like different. Okay, I got a little question about this. So like, so this guitar, the Explorer, Firebird Explorer, and Flying V, are these like the out there Gibsons? Is that what was happening?
They kind of were. Let me just first start by saying these feel like the same guitar, but this one went to private school and that one smokes cigarettes in the bathroom.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
Which
is kind of like me and John.
binding.
Totally.
Totally.
That's like our personality.
I know.
It's like the binding, the little, the ornateness, the little raised, and then that one's just like,
That one's giving the middle finger to
yeah, definitely skipping third period.
cigarettes.
I've always wanted an Explorer shape. I've never had one. This is way bigger than I imagined it to be.
Yeah,
It's like
it does stick out.
it's big.
Yeah.
But then this part is so thin.
Yeah, I like how it feels like a small guitar actually when you hold it because of how
It kind of does. But then you look at
Yes.
this and it's
there's
ginormous.
extra guitar.
Yeah.
What appeals to me about the Cybertruck appeals to me about the Explorer.
Straight lines.
Yeah, just more and more than you need,
Way
or
more.
just unapologetic.
There you go.
So Gibson went through a very short period of years where they made the best, most influential, craziest stuff that no one wanted, and then forever it lived on in infamy and is the most copied stuff of all time. The Firebird, the Explorer, the V, the Explorer, and the other one.
The SG? No.
Not the SG. There's there's another guitar they made. They made them in Carina in '59. So they made so in '57
Yeah.
they put the humbucker in the Les Paul.
Yeah.
'56 they get a stop tail piece, like what we have today. In '57 they put humbuckers in it. In '58 and '59 they do bursts, and by '60 it's starting. Things are they do Les Pauls also.
Is SG right after that?
SG is 62 because they got rid of the Les Paul. That's why the SG was actually the new
Paul.
Les Paul.
Yeah.
So you see 62 Les Pauls that have that, or it was a 61 they did this. I can't remember.
61.
Yeah, where it says
Yeah.
Les Paul
61.
in the headstock.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's an
61.
SG.
Yeah.
And then and then they brought the Les Pauls back and just made the SG a solid guitar SG, and now we call it SG. But in '59 they made out of Carina wood 3 guitars: the Explorer, the V, and the other one is the it's like that Gumby guitar people call it. It's not very
The
popular.
RD?
No, not the RD. That was later. They made, and that was like kind of a play on. That was like they did that. But I'll have to look it up. We'll put it on the screen, and it's like sitting there on the screen right now. These
Yeah,
3
they're
guitars,
screaming it in the comments.
and nobody wanted them. Nobody. The Les Pauls were failures. That's why they redesigned them. Like
Wow, that's
you
crazy.
couldn't, and that's why all those guys like. That's why you have all the famous burst players in the '60s. They were playing guitars that were very cheap. You could get them. American, especially in England, American guitars were very expensive to bring over. But there was a brief moment in time where players picked up Les Pauls and were like, "These are great," and they just hadn't caught on, and get to the point that Gibson was like, "This is a failure," and so we need to redo this. We need to do all these changes, and then
So they kind of did them back to back, like the V, the Explorer.
Very
They're
few,
just
yes.
experimenting,
And
basically,
very few
trying
were
new
made,
shapes.
yeah.
Everyone said no, we don't
Yeah,
want these.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, and so, and then they get into an era of rock where it's like to me the Explorer is like metal 70s, 80s.
Well, but
the
I-
shapes.
But when I think of Explorer, though, I think of actually three things.
Mm-hmm.
I think of the Edge.
Me too.
I think of Leonard Skinner.
And Dora.
No, and I think of
The
Metallica.
Explorer? Does she play one?
Dora the Explorer?
She plays a. Keep going.
Dora the Explorer playing an
No,
Explorer.
no, I get it. That's like a new theme of ours: is jokes that are funny
know.
but you don't laugh at.
But then then James Hetfield in Metallica didn't play so many Gibson Explorers, but he
No,
played
but the
this shape
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
He still does,
I was a U2 fan, since I was young, and I always thought that him playing Explorer was way out there. Like, why? It didn't match the Tellys and Strats and Les Pauls and.
The way I think about it, though, is like it kind of has the same vibe to me as it's like a hybrid between an SG and a Les Paul. In like the way it feels to play and the way it sounds.
The Explorer?
How so?
This,
What's
yeah.
the?
Just because it feels like a Les Paul, but the scale length is like a little bit longer, I think. Is it longer?
I think it's just pushed up. It's just
pushed
sitting
up?
more forward.
Or maybe,
so where it's
and
like,
maybe it's like the Les Pauls also feel like the angle this way is a lot. This doesn't
the neck
feel-
angle might be different, but I think it's for the shape of the body is making it feel like it
Longer?
The whole guitar is
longer.
this way.
Further away.
This way. You were saying the fret access as well.
The fret
like
access
up here,
is also that's
which
where it's
reminds
like,
me of an SG,
like
up
an
there.
SG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely private school smoking in the bathroom vibes of these two guitars. And they're practical. They're like they are ergonomic if you look at them and their shape. They also the design you have, Suze, is so it works both ways. There's actually reverse ones.
Yeah, I was going to say
make reverse
that
bodies.
was, and the V as well, right? The inverted.
Well, they did do an inverted V later, but I don't think that was classic. That was a
one
little
wants
later.
that.
They're
they
just
did.
playing around with these things. Like they're
Yeah, I
not-
think it had already. Yeah, that was a
Okay.
later like.
My
had
favorite part
already
about the reverse V is the headstock. It's like also a
Yes,
reverse
also
V.
reversed. And they did do Explorers where they cut the big part off the back.
Okay.
And they do another angle there, which is also kind of cool.
Interesting.
If you didn't want that, which is a kind of
This
a cool
one?
Yeah, they cut an angle. This
Should I do that to this?
No, we'll put it up on the screen right here. You can see.
I have a wood saw. Is that what you said? I have a what?
I have a bandsaw.
Bandsaw.
Yeah, but
That's
then
it.
you got to finish the whole thing.
No, you don't.
No, you don't have to.
Wood is fine.
It's interesting about these is that the ones that are flipped around are called non-reverse, and I would think of those as reverse.
Well,
Like, it's-
maybe those were first. I don't remember. I don't really know when the first Firebird came out. Someone can Wikipedia that, you know, at home. But I don't know when. So this
On
might
the
be reversed.
non-reverse ones, is this?
I don't think that they always track because there's ones with this shape that have that normal as well, you know. But I don't actually like the shape of the non-reverse Firebirds. I just think they look a little. I'd rather be. This is like a Jazzmaster, like an offset type of thing.
Yeah.
That one looks more like a.
Yeah, you'll see these in
oblong.
the offset groups.
Yeah.
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 But I dig it. Like you, I've always wanted to own one, and I just thought I'll just grab a cheap one and play it and have fun with it. You know. So here we are.
So these are tremendous value. I might buy a V. I also will have to buy that accessory that you get that holds the V on your leg. Have you seen that?
Yes.
It's like a leg
You
thing.
add it on, right?
Yeah, and then you sit the guitar on
It
it,
completes the guitar.
and then you can play the V.
You could also just put a strap.
The V
on.
sitting down. I don't have an olive guitar, but I do have this right here. This is my green thing for the day. And this is real. This is my University of San Francisco bachelor's degree.
Oh.
And look how ornate this thing is. I mean, that's
Wow.
this is quite, paid a lot of money for this.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
for this piece of paper. And I've really been thinking about crossing out Bachelor of Science in Business Administration Entrepreneurship, which what the heck does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
And I've been really thinking of just crossing that out and putting tone. Because I feel that at this point, I probably have enough credits to maybe just get a degree in tone.
You're 6 years into this little
Yeah.
project, aren't you?
Yeah. And but everyone I've sort of communicated this to has given some pause. Don't do it to your actual degree.
That was what I said.
Yeah. Don't do that. Put it on the plastic or get like a copy. Make
Like a
a copy
nice
of it. Keep
copy
the
of
original.
it. Yeah.
And it makes me think, when I die, is anyone going to keep this?
That's trash.
No one's asking me for it today. You know, Not one person has been like, I'm about to download your latest Kemper pack.
Right.
I was going to say, when's the last time you interviewed for a job?
But I'd
though?
like, yeah, it's
Right.
been a while. It's been a
I
minute.
have a couple questions.
But I'd like to
because that's when
verify-
people ask for those things.
Right. I'd like to verify which board of trustees.
I mean, not really, but
Yeah, who's asking? Which board of trustees is certifying by virtue of the authority vested in them by the sovereign state of California?
did this just become a podcast about why college is not worth it?
Oh no.
Maybe.
How much time
But
do we
I
have?
might put. Anyway, I'm thinking we could make an event out of this where I actually cross this out and write tone on it,
Man.
and then I'm just going to start saying that I have a degree in tone.
Given to you by the
I
University
feel like
of San
you could
Francisco.
start saying that without defacing your actual degree, though.
Like, is there a Venn diagram of you getting what you want without defacing that?
I mean, I'm in the camp of like, you probably shouldn't destroy that thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Destroy
no
or make
upside.
better.
But, well, I mean,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Improve
Destroy
it.
or make
For
better.
sure. No
We
one
don't-
knows.
No one knows. It's in the eye of the beholder. What is the value of this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What does it say? It says that for a couple of years after community college, I went to this place, and I used to play this great game where I figured out that a parking pass was like $450 a semester. So much money. And I remember thinking, well, parking tickets are less than $70. So
You'd have to get quite a few.
yes. So I was like, parking will cost me money this semester. But, you know, can you get like less than $5? Because then it's a real deal, you know? And so that was kind of the game. You know?
This is the sort of out of the box thinking that has made you.
And they
so
gave you a
successful.
degree for your,
They gave me a
your
degree
sharp
for
thinking.
that.
You're like,
you know?
that's entrepreneurship right
You
there.
know,
Right there.
The whole thing was
How
a test.
can I not pay you? It was a test, and I passed.
Yeah,
And,
and you got a degree.
and they
How many tickets did you get? I gotta know.
oh, I mean, different semester. You know, sometimes I get 3, sometimes I got 2. I found this one lady who said, if you make sure you have some stickers or something on your car, and I won't give you a ticket if I catch you in the neighborhood
Wow.
and you're after 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I would run from my classes to go move my car in between sometimes. And you know, some semesters I just had Tuesday, Thursday classes. Sometimes it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sometimes it was both. I had a couple classes where, you know, I want to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, but the class I need was on Tuesday, Thursday. And I more than once had a professor say, "Who are you?" And I'd go, I'm in this class. I'm registered for this class. She'd be like, were you here in the beginning? I'd be like, yeah. And then she'd be like, yeah, you are here, but you've been absent. I thought you dropped this class. And I'd be like, no, ma'am. I did not drop this class. I didn't say this, but I would just be like, I noticed on the syllabus that we're only graded on 4 projects. And I'm not really seeing the point of showing up to these lectures.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on you noticing me.
Right.
But
You know?
now we're talking about
Yeah,
it.
but now I realize this is a
Right.
Pretty much banked on you not noticing me.
Yeah, this is, you know. I had a professor one time look at me and say, "Get more regular." And I took that to mean just quit.
Eat more fiber
Yes,
or what?
just,
Yeah,
just-
that's what I
yeah,
thought
but
too, man. I don't know how to phrase
I
it.
took it to mean like you got to be here for this class, you know. But
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm not
Isn't
really-
that the whole point of college?
Yeah,
The
I've
whole
already
point of
look, you-
college is that you go when you want to.
Yeah, and it's like you told me how
It's
I'm
up to you
assessed.
now.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I don't think I need to hear.
This is
yeah.
coming from a guy. I never went to college, so I assume that's what it is.
Yeah, that's how.
Did you not? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, not a day.
Well, you went
School of
to
Rock.
you went to the School of Rock. You were on the road.
Hard knocks.
Sounds really stupid
On the
when you say it
road.
like that. But
It
Just rocking out.
Bunch of old guys.
a bunch of old guys.
I went to the School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
School of Rock. And yeah, it's an interesting thing. I had a guy one time. He was my philosophy teacher, and we read all sorts of stuff, and you know I would debate in class, and then I missed my final. It was on like a Tuesday, and I showed up on Wednesday at the right time. I walked in, I said, "Hey," at his office, and he's like, "Yes," and I was like, "Here for the final," and he was like, "It was yesterday." And I was like, what? I was like, no. And I was like, oh, no. And then I was like, can I do it now? And he was like, well, your final is scheduled for yesterday. And I was like, look, I this is not some like scheme for me to like get an extra day to prepare. I really did think I just got the dates confused. I have it in my calendar, as the wrong date. And he looked at me and said, I know. You're not a liar. You're just irresponsible. And I was like, in my head, I went, he's assessed me correctly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. No.
And so I think he dinged me a little bit, and then we talked about stuff.
You're like, but did you take the final then? Or did you just have to?
Yeah, the final was a discussion with him because we had read all these different authors, Jesus, Gandhi, Calvin, Alexander the Great, Plato was in there too, probably. And it was, what's the best way to live? That was the question. You were to read all this literature and look for the answer that the author gives, mostly inadvertently because no one's talking about. No one writes a book called The Best Way to Live.
Yeah, come out and say it.
But so you're supposed to sort of distill their works and try to answer these questions for all these different people. And I don't know. We had a discussion. How do you know if you're right? It's a philosophy class.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a moving target.
Yes.
We're not really.
People answer that question all differently. So, but he had assessed me correctly. And what's the point of college?
I don't think.
I don't know that I've used any of that to aid in my career, but it was enrichment.
Yeah.
Was it worth the money? Was it that enriching?
Well, you didn't have to pay for parking.
What a deal.
There's that.
Yeah, that was.
So this is not the day that you're going to make a purchase live on the show.
So
I guess
listen,
it's not live.
I know. I am committed to no. I cannot make the purchase.
I forgot
today.
about January.
I'm committed to no purchase January, and no spend January is what we're calling it. And you spend a lot of money in December. Kids wanted a MetaQuest Pro.
Got to catch up.
I bought a couple double necks. On the 31st, I bought an iPad because I needed to replace my iPad that I lost. And I figured, why not do it right then? Before
you should have bought a
January?
V. Should have bought a fine V then.
Should have bought a V.
Right.
And
I planned on doing no spend January.
Yeah, and then what happened?
I bought this.
Okay, legit question.
Okay.
Is no spend January immune to the one in, one out principle?
It is. Because also in January, I'm trying to sell several things.
So
it's
selling
no
does not
spend.
free up.
Well, I need to get some more room in here.
I see.
And so 10 amps need to go and 5 guitars. 4 guitars.
You just make that up on the spot?
I don't know how many guitars, but some amount of guitars. At least 3 guitars are going. And then I'm probably going to...
It kept getting lower.
I know.
5, 4, 3.
Probably...
I'll probably sell one.
Yeah.
No, there's at least 3.
I might keep all these.
I might.
There's at least 3 that I really have no use for, and then I'm going to try to cut a little deeper and cut 2 more guitars.
Okay.
Did you sell the EVH already?
No, it's in a case. It's been
Ready to be
photographed and
sold.
ready to go.
There you go.
It's ready to go.
Wow.
And so, it's on Tone Junkie Vintage. There's some stuff for sale, and so people can buy it there. If you want some stuff, HW selling. That's that. That's that. Yep. I want a green one, but
I
not
know
yet.
it'll happen.
It'll happen.
I know
it'll happen.
On February 1st, they'll be for sale still.
Absolutely, they will be for sale. What am I forgetting that we were going to do on this pod? What am I?
Was it the update to the what you can play in church? Was that? Are we talking about that?
Maybe we'll talk about that on the next one because that's
Okay.
a whole that's
There's
a
a
whole
whole thing.
That's a whole thing.
We were going to talk about this, and then we were going to talk about... I don't remember.
This is a whole. This is turning into a whole segment. The guys forget what they're talking about on the podcast. There was one other thing.
Did we talk about it today?
I sat down knowing how we were going to break these episodes up, and now I don't.
My question is this all in the podcast, or are we cutting it out?
This is in.
No, we're leaving it in.
I
Okay.
hope most of it's in.
Right.
This is in. Are we excited about NAMM? This is coming out probably a week before NAMM, maybe 2, maybe a week and a half. And we found out Kemper's going to be at NAMM. We're kind of on a green theme if you think about it. Green guitars, green Kemper. We have this profiler.
Is that preamp green, or are my eyes deceiving me? The one
That's green. The JDK is green.
Okay, there you go.
Everything's green.
Green Scream.
Green Scream.
The Kemper cab.
Where's that profiler player?
Oh, it's right here. It's on the floor.
So the player, people know what it looks like. The player, I had this. The Kemper's going to be there. Now, they've already revealed the player. You know, I don't know if there's anything new other than they're going to be showing it off.
Right.
You know, maybe they're going to want to get some press. So I guess there's still a value in going to NAMM. I mean, they released something; it's already got a bunch of attention. They're
For
still
them.
going to NAMM.
Yeah.
Value for them.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? They sell direct. They already got a bunch of people talking.
Oh, yeah,
I think
that's
they already sold a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
What's the point in going? I don't know. But they're going. Quad Cortex is going to be there. Line 6 is going to be there. I don't know if they're just in the Yamaha booth or what.
We confirm no Gibson, no Fender.
No Gibson, no Fender. Tonex is going to be there.
Confirm.
Really?
No, IK is going to be there.
No Gibson. No Fender.
We didn't buy enough Epiphones this year for them to afford to go.
Hey, we bought them too late.
We bought them too late.
They said no,
I
not worth
think,
it.
yeah, you know, they have a new CEO and stuff, and I don't know where they're going with. I mean, they had stopped going, and now I don't know if this is like part of the company's new direction, but a lot of people have exited NAMM, and it's a big sell to get them to go back. It's up to NAMM to prove to them they need NAMM now. You know what I mean? Whereas before it was like the burden of proof was on, should we stop NAMM? It's like, well, NAMM is where the industry gets together. NAMM is all these things. And now, you know, you've had all these people. This is an interesting year because I don't believe anyone's afraid to travel anymore. You know what I mean? That's no one's motivation at this point.
Yeah.
So we're kind of back to normal. You know, cue somebody in the comments saying how could you say that? You know, but people are traveling, people are out and about. There's no one's giving pause to going out. I'm sure there'll be a lot of, you know, masks and stuff at the event, but people are there, and it doesn't feel like a transition year anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We're back to January. This feels like a real winter NAMM again.
That's right.
We're not in an off month. We're not.
That's why I'm a little bit surprised that no Gibson, no Fender, because it feels like NAMM's back.
Yes,
You know?
it does.
Maybe they're gone for good.
Maybe they're gone for good. I haven't checked with JHS if they're going, but they did an episode this year with the head of NAMM, you know, talking about is NAMM still good for pedal companies and stuff, and they were sharing some pretty honest stuff about like people saying it's too expensive, and people saying, and it is so expensive. What I noticed this year was that this year was the first year that I was invited to NAMM in their influencer program or whatever. And by the way, remind me to get our NAMM passes.
I don't know. In 2020, you signed up on the day that NAMM started, so
It's true.
We were already there.
Yeah,
I was a bit nervous,
that.
I'm
No,
gonna be
no, I
honest.
can do that. It's fine.
We
I
could have
know.
gone to Disneyland.
I've covered the show
right
so
there.
many years, and you get out there, and I talk to the media people, and it's just like
it all worked out.
it's like, hey, I'm here. I should be on the computer. You've seen me here for the past year. So usually what I'm doing is I'm sending a thing off to the media team, and they send me a new like re-up, like, are you going to come cover the show this year? And
do
I
you
say
think
yes.
that not many influencer people have like signed up to go yet?
So one of the things they've done is, I guess they listen to my videos because I suggested, hey,
I'm sure they do.
I go and I can't make content, and you say that there's the value of NAMM is distributors and connection, and also content being created from influencers. Yet it's impossible to create content for all the obvious reasons. And so I suggested in a video, here's what NAMM should do. This year they're doing that. And they've made spaces available where you can make videos, quieter areas. So there's like video areas. I don't know if influencers can get access to that, or if the brands themselves can get access and then get influencers to do it. But I got an email from them that kind of invited me as an influencer. And it didn't seem to me that the people sending that email were aware of that I've already covered the show from the media people, because the people who invite the media people are a third-party company that is like handling it for NAMM. Does that make sense? So it's like they have my info, and then afterwards they want to know what you've done so that they can sort of report, here's how we attracted the media, a service presumably that NAMM pays them to handle. You get media there, you handle the media coverage, make sure we get exposure, make sure there's media, get the media center going.
So you're saying that there's a difference between the media and influencer.
It now appears that I've been invited by some influencer arm.
That's weird.
And now they wanted to know if there's like anything at the show.
Isn't that the whole point? Is that influencers are on social media? Isn't it all under media?
Well, I think they have this. I think it's a new initiative. I don't know. I don't really quite know, but I think there's this newer initiative that I heard them talk about this year, which is part of this making space and having this. It makes me think they see that NAMM's changing. From a brand standpoint, I know that they're, from what I heard from the head of NAMM, that they're sort of telling brands, hey, when you're releasing new product, we see that social media and influencers are a part of that. We can help you connect you with influencers because they realize this stuff's happening anyway. Look, UA is just going to people and going, yeah, you guys going to NAMM? Yeah. Hey, so 3 days before NAMM, you want to go into the studio and check out all our new stuff? Sure. Are you going to be at NAMM? No. We're just going to be in the Anaheim area 3 days before because we know all of you will be there.
Right.
So that's why they got Tim Pierce and Rhett Shull all in a studio to go try out our new pedals. And then they weren't at NAMM.
Right.
And then you got people who are renting hotel rooms so they can have a quiet place to meet with customers and go play guitar.
You know what it is? It's the same thing. What did Reverb do? Reverb jacked their prices for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. And so then people would connect on Reverb and then sell privately. So then Reverb had to spend all this money in catching people do that, right? Now they're like monitoring all of the messages for telltale signs of this, right? And they'll crack down.
Yes.
Right?
That is
so. It's
that
like
is it.
NAMM's trying to do the same type of thing where it's like, but maybe in a little better way where they're just trying to make sure that there's still a reason to go to NAMM. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think maybe they have to figure out, like, maybe this is too expensive for brands to come and do this because they're not really getting distribution deals out of it anymore. They're really getting influencer content out of it. That's the primary. What does Fender get out of going to NAMM at this point?
Fender can spend way less money.
Yes.
Take all those NAMM guitars and send them to people.
Totally.
And there you go. A ton more content gets created.
Way less money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tons of people will love a $2,000 guitar. Yes. And you and I know, I mean, all of us know, they spend a lot of money.
Tons.
NAMM is very, I've done trade shows in the past. It is highway
trade shows
robbery.
Are outrageously expensive.
It is like the most insane. It should be illegal. I don't mean that really, but it should be illegal. Yeah. What you have to pay to get your stuff there, and then while it's there, it needs to be stored, then it needs to be delivered to your booth, and then you got to pay to get people out there to build it.
No, it's
and
crazy.
It's all and try to walk something in there yourself.
No, you can't.
They'll come after you like you're shutting down union labor all over the country.
Yeah. I'm
just walking in with my stuff that I paid. I paid. $10,000. I have a 10 by 10 square foot to just show this little box that I sell for $80. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And you cannot sell anything here. You cannot sell anything to recoup the cost.
Right.
So there's no way to recoup the cost.
Yeah. It's pretty outrageous.
I'm excited for NAMM.
I'm excited.
Me too. I think it's going to be super
I'm excited.
fun.
There's a ton of people. I'd love to know what Neural DSP pays for NAMM.
Actually, here's what I think might be the silver lining in all of this. If there's less, because look, we've all been to NAMM several times. It's too big. It's so big. There's no way you can see everything.
True.
Right? But at the same time, you run out of things to see very quickly. Right? When you're there for like the third day, it's like, what are we doing here? I've seen all of this. I can only walk through this same set of things so many times before it's like, all right, what else now?
Yes.
Hopefully. So like when I used to go to a lot of programming conferences, they used to call it the hallway track, right? It's like there's all these different tracks of, each room has a theme or whatever.
Yes.
Right? But the hallway track is all of the people that are there for the same reasons you're there for, that you get to meet that you wouldn't meet otherwise. And the hallway track is not televised, not recorded, you know what I mean? Not there for you later. All of the talks and everything will be posted and there forever.
Yes.
Right?
For $40.
For nothing.
Unlimited access or nothing. Yeah.
Or on YouTube for free that you can watch, right? But you can't recreate the hallway. And maybe, just maybe, with less brands and less, maybe, I don't know, with less stuff to do, maybe there's more space for just people to meet and to actually get to know each other instead of just like, I don't know. I just feel like NAMM is like, it's a weird thing.
It feels like an old and new thing. I feel like they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
But, there's, I don't know. I think they're moving in the right direction. There's just, we might have a unique perspective in that a lot of other industries, people who sell brass instruments, people who sell pro audio, are not experiencing that. They, if you are a large company that sells pro audio equipment mostly to bars, nightclubs, churches, and a lot of your or DJs, you sell equipment that goes on live stages at festivals. There's probably not an influencer that you can really send a lot of stuff to. There might be a couple YouTube channels that sort of specialize in that content that have people from the industry doing that, but it's not like guitar where the internet, it's saturated with guitar channels. There's tons and tons of channels with between 10 and 100,000 that are just making niche content.
Right.
Hello, Tone Junkie, right?
And what you're saying is like, if the items we were talking about were larger, there would be far fewer of them.
Right. It's not practical. Like it wouldn't be practical.
Yeah.
It's more specialized stuff. And so for them, NAMM works, I think. And it hasn't changed.
Case in point, actually, there's a lot of drummer content, right? Just like there is guitar content, but there's not as much.
No.
Right? And why? Well, because drum sets are big and expensive and you can't have 50 of them in a room easily.
What is it like if drums are your identity, you're really good at the drums. But you don't have to quite be as good at guitar.
Right? It's saturated.
Whoa. Can of worms has been open.
You know what I mean?
I guess,
Time for a commercial break.
I don't know. Maybe the barrier of entry is lower on guitar.
Yeah. It might
on
be.
Drums.
Certainly easier to put a guitar in a closet than a drum set.
Well, and it's certainly easier to not offend people by poor playing on a guitar. But it's really
tough.
Drums are tough.
Yeah. Drums are tough. I remember my cousin used to live with him when I was a kid. He had a clarinet and he started learning the clarinet in this is maybe 4th grade. And so, we didn't want to listen to him play in the house because he wasn't very good.
Yeah.
So his mom would make him go on the deck in the back and go practice out there. And he practiced every day. And one day some neighbor, we don't know from which house exactly, but just started yelling, "Will you shut up? Shut up!"
Dang. That's savage.
Poor kid. He's playing Hot Cross Buns.
He's just trying his best.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel for the kid, but I also feel for the neighbor.
Yes.
I know.
We must have heard it 1,000 times,
Yeah.
He just wants it to stop.
And, he doesn't play the clarinet today, and I don't really know why, but
I think we all do.
Can't imagine that helped.
Yeah, it didn't help. It didn't help. I'm looking forward to NAMM. I do wonder, why does a company like Kemper even go?
My question was more, why did they reveal their big reveal before NAMM? Like, that seemed like...
Well, I think they're ready to sell it. And they sell direct. So it's like, go to the website. And it's probably easier for them to launch a product not with all of their people at NAMM when they're actually back working.
It did. I thought the same thing, though. I thought, man, you guys almost made it.
You're like 3 weeks ahead, and all of a sudden, here's everything we have to say about this thing. And it's like, you're about to be at a pretty big event.
Yeah, because now people are going to go to the booth and be like, so what's new for NAMM this year? And they're going to be like, nothing.
I love that
don't
question.
Don't they take a long holiday don't Europeans do that? They take a long Christmas holiday, like pretty long. I think it's pretty typical to take several weeks off. And so this might have been we're going to release it. It's done. It's out of our hair. Now we're going to Christmas. We'll come back.
So now, to your point, they want to cover the player like with media and influencers.
Well, they're at
like
NAMM, they're at NAMM, and of course we're down to make videos. But last year, we made some videos, and they were just there attending, and they want to bring it. They did this before. They released the stage, and then they showed new stuff. They showed the Kemper cabinet.
Is that what they did? When did the stage come out?
No, the stage, there wasn't a NAMM that they went to after that.
Okay.
Was there?
Yeah, the Kemper cab, wasn't that 2020?
Yes.
That was the
Kemper
big
cab
thing.
was new,
Okay.
and the speaker impulses or speaker imprints was all new, and the acoustic simulator, that was all new right before NAMM. And then I think we saw, I remember.
I always forget about that.
Yeah. It's
There's
good.
a reason.
It's good. I mean, I think it's good.
Yeah. How often do you need it?
I don't need it often.
Okay.
Acoustic simulator with the 12 string on the double neck. That could work.
We're back.
Oh.
Double neck Firebird and Explorer.
He doesn't allow any conversation to last more than an hour without circling back to the double neck.
No. Yeah, go test our theory.
Podcast
We're right.
or no podcast.
No, yeah, that's
you can't talk to him for more
Even
than an
at
hour.
lunch or
And rightly so. It makes him happy. I get it. I love it.
I played. You play slide on it, and it's like, how come no one's done this?
No, when you sent
What
us
happened?
that clip of you playing slide on it, I was like, that sounds sick.
Sick.
It sounds great.
We'll get into this in the next one. I played it this weekend.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm really excited for NAMM. I'm excited to see what people are doing.
Yeah.
I'm excited to meet people. I'm excited to.
When we go to NAMM, I'm going to ask them. I'm going to ask Christoph and Doug, and I'm going to ask somebody at IK, the highest up person I can find.
Why are you here?
Why are you here? Like legit.
What's in it for you?
No, like I kind of just want to make a video. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really curious. Like, why do you come to NAMM? What's your KPI here? What's that's a key performance indicator. What is
solid. I love those.
what does success look like at this NAMM?
Right.
How do you even consider not going, or is this we must be here? And I guess those IK I think is really trying to break into more of the NAMM world. The players who go to NAMM, the pedal people, all this stuff. I think they've got hardware now. They want to be, so I get it. Like, be there and compete with Line 6 and everything. That's where they're headed. But for some reason, like Fractal doesn't go, and they never would. It's like, what do we have to go?
Really?
They don't go.
I feel like in my brain though, I just feel like my assumption is that everyone goes. My assumption is that every brand who makes anything is there. I'm actually surprised to find people not going.
I don't think Taylor's going. Are they going? Did you
I
see
didn't
that?
check.
They stopped going, and I don't think they're going anymore.
I think Taylor's doing an offsite thing.
Yes, that's what they usually do.
Yeah.
And look, they're there. They're in the area. So for them, doing another event is
I remember
easy.
at 2020 though, they had a big one upstairs.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did. And they always had it at Nashville too. The Nashville name.
Yeah, that's true.
They always had like an upstairs room.
Yeah.
For them to do an offsite thing, they're in
Because
in El Cajon, right?
I'll actually never forget. You and I were up at the Taylor booth, and I played. It wasn't a mini guitar, but it was like a smaller one.
Well, have that wild cutaway thing.
It had the wild cutaway thing, and then it had like a classical guitar headstock on it.
Oh yeah.
And I
thing
was like,
was out of
"This
this
is
world."
one of the greatest guitars in the world." And I looked, and it was like $3,800.
Yeah. Do you know
Kinda
that guitar's
want it
like
now.
$6,800 now?
Well, all guitars are,
Yeah.
except for Epiphones.
We should have
Epiphones
bought-
are still.
I know.
Hey, circle
crazy.
back.
It's crazy what's happening. It's crazy
Those
what's happening.
skills.
These are awesome. Would you do anything to change these guitars? We'll wrap this up with this. Would you do anything to change these guitars? Are you going to upgrade in any way? And how were setups out of the box? Did you set up this Firebird? No.
Remember how high this one was? This was maxed
Oh,
out.
right. And then remember, you left, and then I lowered it. I did it too much, and then we brought it up a
Came
little
back,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably do the pickups on this. They sound cool, but they're bright and they sound cheap, I would say, but it plays great and it looks cool and like it stays in tune and all that stuff. So
It sounds good enough that we would play it in demos, and we have played it in
it
a demo
has
or
been,
two.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. But if we're just gonna. I mean, how much was it?
Under $600.
What was it?
$580. I gotta go look it up, but $582, 60 cents.
There we go.
580. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for that price, it leaves room to tinker.
Yeah. No,
know what I
that's
mean?
a good call. What about
Yeah.
you?
I don't know. I think I like it just the way it is.
Yeah.
The bridge pickup sounds great. The neck pickup's a little woofy, but I didn't buy it for the neck pickup anyway.
Can I make a suggestion? Put a P90 in there.
Pass.
Can I make an
No.
alternate suggestion?
Why would you
Rip
say-
out the neck pickup, get a new pick guard that goes over, and just have just a on and off.
That's kind of cool.
The picker doesn't cover it all the way though.
Get a
No, I'm
custom.
saying you get a custom one that covers it up.
Oh.
So it would be like an Esquire.
John's like, I'm not putting this much effort.
don't know.
in.
I
you guys-
know.
This guitar was $580.62.
Why don't you just play it as this?
He's gonna play as. Wait, you don't think a P90?
Actually, you know what I am
a
gonna-
P90 in there? No.
No. You know what I am going to do
Dang.
is I'm going to put
Shot down.
I'm either going to put strap locks on this or drill out a strap
put one
button
back
for
there.
Right.
there.
Right.
Because this it's at an angle when the strap is
Yes.
straight up. There's no way.
Did you already try it?
I did.
Okay.
My double neck has the strap button in that location.
It's happening,
We only
guys.
made it 5 minutes.
It really is.
It was great.
Can I be honest about something? My back hurt yesterday.
From playing
It was heavy. It's heavy. We'll get into
That was
it.
your comment. You're like,
get
dude,
into
your
it.
back's gonna kill
I thought it
us
was gonna
or
be fine because I was like, it's not that much more heavy, but it's a little much.
to be continued.
You know what's gonna happen though? Because I still want to play the double neck so much, I'm just gonna start working out and I'll get in amazing shape. People will be like, "What'd you do?" And I'll be like, "Bought a double neck.
You could do it too.
I'm on the double neck diet."
Oh my god.
All right,
That's it. We're done. It's a double neck done.
Our cameras lasted.
they lasted.
Wow.
Incredible.
This is how it looks at the end of a video.
Hey.
It's a rare occurrence.
Yeah.